Final Fantasy XIV is a massive game with thousands of hours of content. What I'm going to do here is break down some of the major plot points for those of you who want to know more about Eorzea, but may not have time to experience it all firsthand. Today, we're breaking down the Shadowbringers portion of the Red Mage Storyline. After your adventures in the first, you, the Warrior of Light, head to Revenant's Toll to check on Arya. Ironically enough, she was about to come looking for you. She got a letter from Ixrum that he wanted her to give to you. He needs you to meet him in the Alamegan Quarter because he needs your help. Arya is extremely excited to go, so you both run off to see what your teacher needs. Ixrum's happy to see both of you, but he would have preferred it to be under better circumstances. Some grave robbers have vandalized the memorial that he left behind for his former group, the Crimson Duelists. Because he was so busy fighting to help people when they died, he didn't have a chance to give them a proper burial. Instead, he collected all of their swords and stored them in the Tomb of the Errant Sword. Since Alamigo has settled down after getting his freedom from Garlemald, Ixrum figured it was a good time to pay his respects to his fallen friends, which was when he noticed the tomb had been robbed. The Resistance said that they were going to do something about it, but they're busy rebuilding after the war, so the robbery is not a priority at the moment. Since the Resistance has forced the Empire out, the people who got by on the Empire's support have turned to other means to get what they want, mainly by becoming bandits. But others decided to try grave robbing since, corpses don't poke you with pointy objects when you try to take their stuff. But since Ixrum's friends were among those victims, the grave robbers definitely should have done something else with their time, because Ixrum's not happy, and when he's not happy, he tends to blow things up. Sadly, he can't go all out too fast, or he may accidentally kill the thieves before he finds out where they hid the loot, which is why he called for you. An extra set of hands will make catching the thieves alive a bit easier. Arya, of course, wants to help too, but without access to her ether, it'll be too dangerous. However, since the defeat of Lilith, she's been practicing, fighting the creatures in Mordona, and has managed to master the basic spells again. Ixrum chastises her for fighting such strong beasts alone, but she counters, claiming that she'll never match the two of you if she doesn't push herself. Reluctantly, after an intense staring match, Ixrum decides to let her tag along as long as she doesn't leave his side. So the three of you head to the Bloodhowl graveyard where Ixrum's tracked the robbers, with the aim of bringing them in alive. Hopefully. While Arya is eager to show that she can be useful, it's your job to find the thieves and trick them into heading toward Ixrum. The task isn't all that difficult, but the thieves aren't as dumb as you think and they split up. Two go toward Ixrum's trap, while the others decide it's a good idea to, murder you. I shouldn't have to explain what happens to them, but if you must know, let's just say it's a good thing you're already in a graveyard. When you get back to Arya and Ixrum, Arya is excited to say that her loss of power works wonders for not accidentally blowing people up that you want to keep alive. Ixrum has to admit that even though she's only had a short time to train after losing her powers, Arya did quite well capturing the thieves. Seeing as only 2 of the 4 thieves showed up, he figures 2 of them tried to take you out and failed, a sign that your skills have grown to be possibly even greater than his own. After you tell him a bit about what you dealt with on the first, he begins to understand why. After capturing them, the thieves become very talkative and reveal that they buried their goods in the royal hunting grounds. Ixrum decides to send Arya to deliver the prisoners to the Resistance while the 2 of you retrieve the loot. Then, you all meet up at the Tomb of the Errant Sword. It's not hard for you to find the buried goods, so the 2 of you head to the tomb where Arya is waiting for you. Together, you all bring the relics back to where they belong. The final relic is a sword that belonged to one of Ixrum's comrades who had incredibly small ether reserves. He had the weapon made so he could channel his energies in the best way with the least effort, and he spent a lot of gil to have it crafted. The other duelists teased him, but he would simply say, "Even should I fail to do this steel justice, it will remain after I'm gone, and another will wield it and prove that it was money well spent." With all of the Red Mages dead, Ixrum figured there would never be anyone left to wield it, but with the 2 of you carrying on the legacy of the Crimson Duelists, he thinks it's only fitting that one of you wield the weapon. He hands it to Arya since she's relearned the basics of red magic, and it's time for her to once again begin training as a Red Mage, this time while wielding the weapon of a former Crimson Duelist. Sadly, Ixrum still has a bit of work to do on his own before he can focus on her lessons, so you and Arya head back to Mordona, where she continues her training until the day that Ixrum finally returns. This concludes the story of the Red Mage, at least for now. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on the next video.